full live action Feel the Force Fitness live stream. My name is Coach Izzy. I'm the Jedi Ninja, and this is my first time going live for you guys here on YouTube in this way, doing a live lightsaber workout. So what we're going to be doing today is going over my basic warm-up routine that I use in all of my lightsaber classes every Saturday morning here in Portland, Oregon. And we're going to be doing a 500 cut series because otherwise we get bored. So we're going to do a 500 cut series that takes us through all of the basic strike positions, starting from our rear high guard, or as I call in my kids class, our Jedi guard. It's a nice high back guard. From this side, looks like this, and from this side looks like this. And we're gonna have to stop periodically to skip the YouTube ads on our Harris Heller Stream Beats recordings here in the back. So welcome. If you're new, hello. If you're not, well, welcome back. And so I'm gonna get started with my warm-up routine, starting from the head down. So I'm gonna start nice and easy, just kind of rolling my neck, arms hanging at my side, relaxing, nice and easy, feeling the stretch. I'm doing my best not to roll through this back position like this, because what that does is it kind of grinds the vertebrae in a way that isn't comfortable for me. Some people can easily do full head rolls. It's not good for my neck and it really hurts. So I start here and I roll side to side, going back but not fully. So I get that rear stretch. I'm gonna do a couple more here, just like so. And if you're in the chat, let me know, because I don't know how that's gonna pop up. So I'm curious what that's gonna look like when we're live, while we're live, how we're gonna do that. So starting here, next we're gonna do basic shoulder roll. We're gonna go 10 forward and 10 backwards. Periodically, I'm gonna go and switch my hand for my lightsabers. I'm doing huge, really big and dramatic shoulder circles. We're going to start using our lightsaber here for this in here in a second. And I'll periodically check the chat as we go. Next, saber's going to go tip down on our side. Arm is going to go out. I'm going to bring it around my head, open, and across my body. That's one. Oh, that worked. No problem, Alec. I appreciate you popping in to say hello. How are you? How's work? Hope it's going well for as long as you can stay. And I'll do a full breakdown of this warm-up in a video eventually, so you guys can follow along a little bit more effectively. But for now, welcome to Jedi Ninjas Feel the Force Fitness lightsaber warm-up workout. And this gets great shoulder rotation, extension. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together as I roll forward. I squeeze my pecs together, push away, bring the saber around my head, open up fully, squeezing my shoulder blades. Gotta get a little bit here so I don't smack my wall.
Road rivals. Charging extra for safety is where we part ways.
And these ads are gonna be the death of me. We're gonna have to get YouTube Premium, guys. But welcome. So that's gonna call that there for that side. Both arms, obviously you gotta switch hands on this one in order to get that full rotation. We're gonna move into my wrist warm-ups. So with this one, I'm gonna grab the blade. For you guys, depending on how heavy your sword or saber is, you can grab up here. I'm used to this, so I'm gonna do some pendulums, or metronomes, excuse me. Side to side, my arm is out in front of me. I'm not letting the saber fall below 180 degrees or 0 degrees on either side. Trying not to do what that just did right there. We'll go back and forth 5 times on each side. Welcome. So I'm getting good wrist rotation here in the forearm. My grip is getting a work and warm up. My shoulder is getting warmed up here. Lots of shoulder warm ups here. And then we're going to tap someone else, yourself, and someone else on the shoulder here. This is going to get great warm-ups for the hand and forearms here. Again, for the shoulder, my shoulders are tucked and pulled back. You'll see this one here in a second. Actually, I'll just turn this way. So my shoulders not rolled forward here. My shoulders are retracted, pulled backwards. Whew. We're gonna get this side. Let me know if anybody's in here who's a regular. Make sure you jump up because the chat goes away after a little while. So it's a little bit hard for me to keep up with chat. I'll just have to pause here every once in a while to check comments. But yeah, making sure my shoulders pulled back. I'm gripping, I'm letting the saber go just a little bit here, and then squeezing and letting it drop forward in order to get that wrist activation like so. Trying to go as forward as possible. Getting used to doing this in this light and in this camera. About 10 times each way. And then I gotta do my metronomes on this side as well. So the order that we do these in, I'm trying to go head to toes. So you can kind of work along with me or just hang out and be entertained. I hope I'm entertaining. I'm trying to be. We'll see what happens. Thankfully, I really enjoy the sound of my own voice. So I can talk and teach and have a good time. And hopefully we'll share Star Wars knowledge as we do these streams. I love talking Star Wars lore. So working out and doing a lightsaber fitness stream while discussing lore, freaking tops for me, dude. I would love that. All right, so we're gonna switch this up and we're gonna do a little bit of an elbow work here. So I'm gonna hold the saber out to my side and all I'm gonna do is roll my elbow, holding my arm in place as much as possible. So I feel this rotating a little bit up here, but I feel a lot of this stretching through my bicep and tricep. So this is also good for practicing and using strikes as a warm-up. So this hasn't even begun to get into the workout itself. We'll 5 times each way there, holding the saber out of my side, scooping up, trying to keep my shoulder and elbow in the same place. Look at those forearms. Who is that? What's up, Wilfredo? How are you, dude? That's all the grip training from Ninja Warrior. And a lot of this as well. Lightsabers, swords, Ninja Warrior training. You get some good, pumpy, muscly forearms. And go the other way. As you get used to this, you can kind of speed it up and get a nice dynamic, rolly. Notice how it's almost like I'm practicing my lightsaber spins here, right? But it's a slow and controlled engagement to get my arms ready for all of the craziness we're about to put my body through as far as these cut sequences go. So now that I've got that, I'm going to twist here. It is a standard torso twist, nothing crazy, nice and tall, good posture, getting my back and core loosened up. Breathe in as we go. And then I'm going to do some hip circles, and this is just kind of, again, getting the whole body ready. We're not going to be doing a lot with my legs today, but I heard a really disturbing way to describe this. I think my wife was watching a movie, and it was motion is lotion, was what they kept saying. It was really disturbing. What they meant by is moving, and movement keeps the body fluid. And that's, motion is lotion is just a terrible saying, and we won't ever say that again. So, opening my hip circles, I'm trying to keep my hips as square as possible. I'm not whipping it open like this. This is not necessarily bad, but I want my hip joint to work within its natural limitations its natural range of motion, excuse me. So that little by little, that range of motion can open and extend. So I appreciate the likes on the stream. You guys are awesome. just about done with the warm-up. We're gonna do some leg swings. I'm gonna use my lightsaber as a balancing point. So you're gonna see my arms doing this. My leg is going to come up and kick. So we're gonna go up, kick. And it's opposite arm, opposite leg. Getting 5 swings. Kicking myself in the butt on the other side. I did a little more than 5, but that's no big deal. So we're gonna work that out. I'm feeling pretty good. So nothing crazy, nothing too dynamic, nothing too high impact. That is super simple, super easy. Coach Izzy, the Jedi Ninja, low impact warm up. And again, we're gonna have to get Spotify or YouTube Premium because I can't do these ads the next time I do a live stream. All right, so your basics for lightsaber swings and sword swings in general. I'm not going to teach them this today, but we are going to focus on swinging our saber from a high guard and ending and starting from this rear high guard position. My saber is going to be up and on my side. Elbow is going to be tucked down on either side because I don't want my elbow out here like they do in the movies. You see they're all like this because it looks epic. We're going to keep our elbows tucked in because I don't want people cutting my elbow off as I'm doing this type of stuff. As I'm actually practicing these swings, I want my limbs inside my blade work. So as I'm practicing all this stuff, I want to make sure I'm also practicing good form. If we're trying to be cool and epic and working on choreography, and that is your main focus, take my form suggestions with a grain of salt. This is perfectly fine for doing a horizontal cut. And honestly, if I'm going to do a horizontal cut like a baseball player, I want those elbows in a similar position. But for now, let's get into the workout. We're going to do a 100 cut series 5 different times. We're going to walk through our horizontal cuts with our lead foot, with our foot switches, because it kind of changes. We'll have a forward stance where my left foot is forward and a right forward foot stance. So these are my split stance. It's a centered, basically very generic, centered, even way of standing, but the way our shoulders move and the way our hips rotate while we're doing these movements differs based on which foot is forward. So if my right foot is forward, this feels different just slightly than this. I don't want to be doing these from a center stance because this center stance, while foundational and grounded and great leg work, especially if I squat into it, isn't what I'm looking for in this particular workout series. So we're going to start with 10 cuts, left foot forward, 10 cuts, right foot forward, different cuts each time. We're going to walk through a full series of cuts. I've got 5 different cuts and patterns that we're going to work through 5 different times, and then we'll have some fun spinning some lightsabers, figuring out how we go. Eventually, you should be able to do these types of cuts maybe 1,000 times, doing it 10 times. So repetition, practice drilling. Again, basically, we're going to be starting from this and ending in this position on either side. So, getting up to our nice high Jedi guard, right as the track starts to get up and go crazy, we're going to bring the tip back down and across the body. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, nice and slow. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Notice it's easier for me to keep my elbow down on my non-dominant side than it is my dominant side. And 10. We're going to switch our feet, keep our position. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I have a feeling I did way more than 10 on the first round, but no big deal. I get more cuts, you should be doing 10 and 10. Back to my left foot forward. We're going to do downward diagonal cuts. I'm going to bring the saber forward and downward diagonally, bring it back. 2, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. Switch feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Trying to keep that form. 7, 8, 9, 10. Notice how I'm a little bit lower every now and then. It doesn't have to be way up here. It can be centered a little bit easier. The goal is to practice getting full downward diagonal cuts, horizontal cuts from each position. So now starting from this high rear guard, we're going to go upward diagonal. It's going to pull us through a couple different positions. I think I got one more on each side here. Good. Switch. Awesome. So we've got 10 horizontals, or 20 horizontals, 20 downward diagonals, 20 upward diagonals. We're gonna go straight downward now. So from here, I'm gonna bring it over my head and down. Back, up, down. Or I can go here and down. It's a little more fluid. Notice how I'm kind of passing through that position right there. I did way more than 10. We're going to do one more here and switch. Bring it back up to high guard, down. So I'm using this as my transition point. That is what guards are for. Guards are not blocks. And skipping ad for music. Should have one more on each side. My count's all the way off. I gotta get better at keeping track as I move. I'm gonna do way more than 500 cuts today. All right, next isn't technically a cut. Next is technically a thrust. So from here, we're gonna drop the tip, boom, bring it back. Drop, boom, bring it back. Drop. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 12, and 20. That's our first 100 cuts. Down, pat, 4 more times to go. So in between, as you let your arms rest, you can kind of do whatever you want. I'm gonna spin a little bit, take a sip of my drink off camera here because they're not paying me. So if any energy drink companies truly want to sponsor me and sponsor these workout videos, let me know. I'll be happy to support your products because this isn't paying my bills yet, and I want it to. So we're gonna get back started. We're gonna work through that a little quicker now. That way I can keep track better, because I lose track when I'm trying to talk, teach, and we're gonna move back into our high guard. Left foot is forward. I'm gonna start from this way. So I'm gonna do all my cuts this time facing this way. When I switch to my right foot, I'll do all my cuts this way so you can kind of see what my body's doing, what my posture looks like. I'm gonna wear different pants next time so you can kind of see what my legs are doing. You can't really see what my legs are doing on this. So bringing it back up to a nice rear high guard, or Jedi guard as we call it, elbows tucked and away. I don't want my elbows out here to get sliced off by my opponents. Again, we're not teaching, we're working out. So 10 cuts horizontally, 1. There's 10, switch feet. That's our horizontal cuts down. Checking comments. Hello, hello. All right, nothing crazy there. Sweet. And now downward diagonals, same idea. We're gonna go sideways here. And switch feet. So notice the strikes I'm doing now have a lot more power behind them. You may be able to hear a good whoosh on the camera. I'm not sure if you can or not. But now I'm putting a little bit more effort into them. I'm trying to break more of a sweat. When you're first learning this and you're first trying to start slow, let those muscles get tired, let them work. Because as they begin, they get tired easier. Excuse me, I'm getting tired trying to talk and cut at the same time. But it gets a little bit more difficult. It adds a little bit more difficulty and intensity as you get used to adding power to your upward cuts, or any cut for that matter, as you learn to do these. So again, we're doing 10 cuts in each pattern. If you're enjoying the stream, please do consider giving me a like. We'll have full breakdowns of basic tutorials, movement guides, cuts, strikes, blocks, guards, advanced cut patterns, fighting techniques with lightsabers in mind, because I want you guys to eventually learn enough for me to enter any of the different lightsaber clubs, whether they be the Saber Legion, whether it be Academia de Laser Saber, the French Fetching Federation form, whether it's light speed saber fencing. All of that, I want you guys to be able to have the basic techniques ready to go, ready to skip ads should they come up. And learning all of this as you go. We have our upward diagonals, now we have our downwards. So from here, we're going to come up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch feet. I think I did 12 there, but that's all right. We're going to move on back to our lunges. So from our lunge position, we're going to stay, again, high rear guard. Tip down, thrust, back. Or you can thrust, return, thrust, dip, return, thrust, dip, return. Boom, switch feet. This one flows together a little bit better. It's a thrust dip. My target is on the closest side, so if I'm thrusting this way, I'm hitting that side of their body. I'm not crossing the center line by tipping that way, but it does dip and pull back. One more on each side. Boom. We've made it through our first 200 cuts. We got 3 more rounds of that to go. Take a break, let those arms breathe. So now, at this point, this would be a good time to switch your grip. And what I mean by that is, instead of being, for me, right hand on top, left hand on the bottom, I'm gonna switch and go left hand on top, right hand on the bottom. What this ends up doing is working the arms in a slightly different way. Works the forearms and the grip a little bit better or differently on the offhand. Right now, my right hand forearm, my right side forearm is getting a little tired. It's literally just did 200 cuts and 200 swings, probably maybe more than that. So now I'm gonna give my left hand the time to catch up and get some work in. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna help reteach me these cuts and forms, because I don't do my left hand striking as much as I should. So this is a good workout for me, because now I get to work all these guard positions from my offside. And that's great training, because I'm practicing with both feet forward, my split stance, where I have my right foot forward and my left, and then switching, right? This is all gonna add and make a big difference for my fighting, and awareness of where the blade goes and where my body, what my body is doing when I'm fighting, when I'm spinning, you know, all of that mind-body connection as we're doing stuff. So let's get back into it. Series number 3, strikes number 201 to 300. Let's get this going. 200 to 300. Tense. So left foot's forward. Left hand is on top now. 1. That's 10. Switch. Once again, keeping those elbows nice and tight. I'm not swinging all the way out here and then coming back. I'm stopping and pulling down. Unless you are fighting an extremely large human or several, you don't need sweeping, swathing cuts like this. I'm gonna stop there. I probably did again more than 10. I'm doing way more than 1,000 cuts here, or 500 cuts. Left foot's forward again, high guard, skip the track. Doo-doo-doo. Big shout out to Hero Trainer, one of the companies that have supported me quite a lot. Downward diagonals. Oh yeah, I need this practice. With this side. My cut lines are way off. Right now I'm using myself as my target. Woo! Real bad on this side for me. Once again, I'm using this high guard, this Jedi guard in the rear to be my starting transitionary point. That is where I want the strike to start. I missed it there. Switching feet. Or did I already do that? Oh, anyways, we're gonna do it again. All right, upward diagonal with my left. Did I do horizontals? Somebody in the chat let me know. Anyways, upward diagonals. This one I'm a little bit more comfortable with. Switching. That one was a lot easier. So now doing our downward strikes, our downward overhead strikes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo. Switch. 1, 2. Again, starting from that Jedi guard position. There's 10 and 10. Next, we're going to lunge, left-handed lunges. This should get easier for me as I go. Stab, dip, turn. And this dip can look like this, or down low, like a scoop. So this is all depending on you as the practitioner, how you want to enter and exit those lunges. 1, 2. So now that I've done it, 3. Let's play with some more. 4. Notice how I'm always falling through to this position, at least in passing. Trying to make sure I'm hitting and exiting those points as much as I can. There's my lunges. That is cuts. That is 300 cuts so far. And I'm doing more talking than anything and kind of teaching as I go, which is not my intention. I was really hoping to just kind of work out more, but I find I don't like dead silence. So this is my active rest period between. We're going to wait a few more seconds. Thankfully, there's a timer right up in this corner that's keeping me on target. So we're going to do left hand on top again, right hand on bottom. We're lifting all 100 cuts once again. Then we're going to talk about figure eights and spins for a little bit and call it a day. So left foot forward, high guard, high rear guard. Ten. 1. 10. 1. Did these out of order? 1. 10. Downward diagonal. switch. Whew. Moving on to our overhead downward cuts. We're burning through this 100. This is what happens once you start to get really used to these cuts and really used to these sequences. You can start adding power and adding speed as long as you are each time practicing the best directional cut that you can. So if I'm really focused on my downward cuts here, I want to be as downward in the middle of myself as possible. And until I get this in a way that makes me happy, a little more strict now. Switching feet. Because this cut, starting from here and extending out for that, is a different cut. I'll show you in a second. And works my muscles, uses different muscles. Oops, the chain that's hanging from my garage there. We'll call that 10. I'll probably do extra again. But on these downward cuts, it's different than a cut that starts up here. Because what I'm doing for these downward cuts is falling through this position, starting my cut here. And that's not a bad thing, it's just different. Because I saw an opening, and I'm doing extra cuts as an example. I saw an opening and I'm taking it. Instead of falling into full form to get a downward diagonal cut on that head, I pulled back, I saw it, and I was like, oops, boom, reaching, hitting the head. So we have our lunges again. Starting from here, boom, up. Switching feet. Get. And that is cuts 300 through 400, guys. We've only got one more round to go before we switch it up and have some fun doing our basic drills. I thank everybody who's been here and been hanging out for no matter how long you've been here, whether you started with me 30 minutes ago or you just joined up. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you all leaving likes and dropping some comments. So thank you so much. If you are watching this later, please tell me in the comments what you thought of this video. Stricter form, stricter counts so you can follow along a little bit better. Let me know. It's my first time doing a live class like this. I generally do this stuff in person with, 5, 10, 15 students out in front of me, sometimes even 2 or 3. I don't care, I'll teach anybody. But I want to know how I can better serve my YouTube audience with classes and workouts similar to this. This is my personal workout. I'm trying to break a sweat here, and I wanted to share it with you. Just kind of keep me entertained, keep me interactive, keep me accountable to my own training. So, last time we did 200 left, 200 right. I've got a whole 100 counts here that I need to either do on either side. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch grips in between. So I'm going to start with my right hand, and I'm going to do 5 on each side. And then I'm going to do 10. And I'm going to do 5 more on each side, switching here. So this is going to be a little funky for me, but I hope it works out for you guys at home or wherever you are. We're going to go back to our nice high guard. We're going to have right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch hands again. Switch feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the problem I have is I have to switch feet and switch hands. So that's going to be the trick for you guys. Follow along. Try to keep it even. I want to make sure I'm doing 250 strikes on one side and 250 strikes on the other. Back up, left foot forward, right hand on top. Downward diagonal strikes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch grips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch grips again. Switch feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch grip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch feet. Switch grip. Switch strikes. Upward diagonals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got lost in my own sequence. Switch grip. Switch feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch grip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch feet. Switch grips again. We got our upward diagonals, downward diagonals, horizontal cuts. We're going downward, straight downward, right here. Woo. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, I did it again. 7. We're gonna do an extra. 8, 9, 10. Switch grip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're getting bonus downward strikes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch grips, excuse me, don't switch feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slow this one down to work on my form. 5, 6, 7, 8. High Jedi guard. 9. High Jedi guard. 10. All right. Next is our lunges. 5 on each side. Different grips, different feet. So left foot should be forward, right hand should be on top. Jedi guard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dang it. 7. Switch grips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Switch feet. Switch grip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch grips. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switch feet.
How long are you planning on keeping?
No, I already did that. Sweet. Guys, that is all 500 cuts. Well done if you kept along, if you kept up, you did better than me and actually did 500. Great. If you kept along and you just stayed, strictly followed me, well done. You probably did like 550. Congratulations. Eventually, we're going to have much more structured live workouts for you guys. Again, first one ever here on YouTube using this setup I have right here. So again, thanks a lot. Big again, shout out to Hero Trainer app. It's a pedometer that helps you earn in-game rewards or gift cards, like Blizzard gift cards, GameStop gift cards, Apex coins, whatever you're looking for, by walking. They're soon going to have a premium version that you can chip in for, where you can track your workouts and earn points towards those gift cards as well. I've redeemed 40 to 50, maybe even $60 or $70 worth of Apex coins and Avengers credits, because I like those games. If you follow this channel long enough, you know that. All right, so let's talk about figure eights. We're going to break down figure eights in a super basic way. So a figure eight spin with 2 hands is really easy to do, and people make it much more complicated than it needs to be. So I like to fight with sabers with 2 hands because it makes my one-handed saber opponents think they've got a leg up on me when they don't necessarily do. So from here, in order to get our figure eights really going well, I need to be okay, one, with wrist motion, right? So this is my basic figure eight that you'll see with 2 hands. I've got both nice closed grips. I can open up my fingertips and make it a little bit easier on my wrists if I want. But how do I get that? How do I get that simple, clean flow? What you do is you start really freaking big. So from here, I'm gonna drop the saber tip down, bring it all the way up, downward diagonal cut, all the way up. Similar to what we just were doing for our workouts. And then as I get really good at that motion, here and here, I just pull the lightsaber and keep it in front of me a little bit more. And I tighten that up. And then I just get comfortable with it. And then I can add a little bit of more shoulders and hip rotation to to kind of get that two-handed figure eight. And it's the same thing going the other direction. Really big, sweeping horizontal or diagonal cuts, and then I tighten up the motion side to side, and that allows for those two-handed whippy figure eights. Now, that is good for people who have limited wrist mobility. That's what two hands is really good for. If you enjoy or have access to really spinny wrists, then this is your one-handed figure eight. And it's just like this. Notice how I have limited the line of my body. I am more sideways now because that gives room for my shoulder. I dip and boom. And now where I let the blade tip fall, you see the flex, I can reach it out and bring it back, or I can just wrist spin forward and backwards. I pull it, push it away, pull it in, away. And I just play with where that pull happens. And the same thing is my upward. I kind of whip it out. Whip, pull back. Whip, pull back. And this is for those who have flexi bendable wrists. It's a big difference. If you don't have that wrist mobility, you practice by drawing circles with your wrists. Really big, just like so, until that circle can become tighter and more fluid. But practicing those really big wrists, a lot of people like to teach you to just grab it here and spin there. The problem I have here is if you try any sort of flourish in a competitive lightsaber match and you don't have your hand fully wrapped around your saber, it's gonna fall out. You're gonna get disarmed and you're gonna lose points. And in some forms, in some dueling clubs, spinning is encouraged. Jumping and turning is encouraged because it looks really cool. It feels really cool. Is it practical in every fight or in 99% of fights? Heck no, you wouldn't do that. But for most fights and in some clubs, it looks really cool and it looks really fun. If you want stricter, harder, hard-hitting battles, check out the Saber Legion. If you want flourishy, fun-looking fights, check out Ludo Sport. Check out ASL FFE. Check out Lightspeed Saber. Those clubs are more flourishy and fun-looking. TSL is more strict, martial arts-based MMA of sabers. So I'm trying to give you the best of all of those things and prepare you for whichever one you want to do the most. But that's it for this live stream, guys. I really want to say thank you for those that stuck around. It's been a great 45-minute stream. I'm going to try and do more workouts with a bit more structure. This was really just to kind of help me break a sweat and practice my saber forms. Honestly, if I wanted to, we would do strike combos and turn that 500 cuts that this live was for into 1,000. So maybe we'll do that next time and we'll get a 1,000 cut workout live and in person. I'm the Jedi Ninja. They call me Coach Izzy. Until the next time, stay out of trouble. Make good choices and may the Force be with you. See you guys in the next one.